and thanks for swinging by the Safety Solutions Academy YouTube channel. Wanted to introduce you folks today to a friend of mine, my good old Samsonite hard-sided suitcase. I'm packing up, getting ready to head out to SHOT Show, and I thought since I had the suitcase out and I'm going to be taking some firearms with me, I would show you how it is that I travel via air with my firearms. So this suitcase is a hard-sided suitcase, as I mentioned. Not a very expensive, not a very fancy suitcase. Probably ran me about 99 bucks when I bought it 4 or 5 years ago, and it served me really well. It's lasted much longer than most suitcases, most luggage pieces that I've owned. Again, it's nothing fancy. Let's take a look at the outside first. As we swing around, we'll kind of start this way. Notice the 3 bolts over in the bottom right-hand corner of the frame. We'll talk about those a little bit more in detail later on. We have some standard TSA locks that are on each end of the suitcase. And up here in the center, we've got a combination lock that is a TSA lock when you want it to be, and a non-TSA lock when you do what I do and carry firearms in it, so you can keep TSA out of your suitcase, which is what you want to do. And then another TSA approved lock up here in the front. It's a roller bag, so it's pretty easy to get around. Usually it can hold a lot more than what it is that I can carry weight-wise, 50 pounds. Let's take a look on the inside and see what I do to secure my gun. You can see right up here in the center, I've got my little firearm case. This case is a cheap $20 case. You'll notice that it has a cable that kind of follows to the side of the suitcase, goes down to where those 3 bolts were at. We'll take a look at those in just a minute. Let's take a look inside the case so you can see what I've got and I carry with me. Typically, I carry my full-size Glock 21 that's got the Templar Custom Arms work taken care of on it. In addition to that, I've got a 5-shot Smith & Wesson revolver, little J-frame that I carry as well. They both fit into this case really easily. You'll notice that the case cable comes down inside, wraps around what I guess I would call the bolt area where the lock mechanism's at, and runs out the side of the case. So when this case is closed and locked, there's really no way to get this out. So if someone were even to break my suitcase open, it's secured pretty well. Let's talk in detail about some of the other things you need to think about when you're carrying a firearm with you. Typically, firearms come along with ammunition, and you've got a couple of different options when you carry ammunition. The law states, or regulations state, that the ammunition must be fully enclosed in a box that's manufactured to hold ammunition. So you've got 2 different ways you can go there. You can see that I've got 2 boxes that are designed to carry ammunition right here in my suitcase right now. I use those, and inside this box right here are the rounds that are from the magazine that is in my Glock 21. And then, of course, the rounds that were in the 38 are contained right here. Now, I carry spare ammunition. I carry reloads with me, and I carry those in magazines contained in magazine pouches. Now, if you think about that statement that I made just a minute ago about the regulations, fully contained in a box designed to hold ammunition. It's exactly what a magazine is. The only problem with the typical magazine is it's open on the end. When we slide it into the magazine pouch, it's no longer open. It now fully contains that ammunition. I've flown like this a couple of times now. It works out pretty well, and it's a little bit less of a pain when I'm getting geared up on the firearm and the ammunition are contained in the suitcases I just showed you. You can carry up to 11 pounds of ammunition with you when you are traveling by air, and 11 pounds is definitely enough for me when I need to travel. Magazine from the gun is out of the gun and empty. Holster for the J-frame. Holster for the Glock 21 along with my carry knife. It's got my little holster for my light on top of it as well. And that pretty much rounds out my carry gear. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you how it is that I've got this suitcase affixed to the gun case, or maybe the other way around, the gun case affixed to the suitcase. So let's kind of take some things out of here. Now I'm traveling to Las Vegas for SHOT Show. It's a business trip, so I'm going on my own. So I pack a little bit differently than I normally do when I'm traveling with the family. So we've got all the different things that we're going to need at SHOT Show. Get those out of the way so you can see what it is that we need to show you here. Almost there. The business cards out of the way. Now let's work on down to that bottom corner of the case again. You can see what I've done here is I've taken a little bit of angle iron, this piece of aluminum, drilled out for 3 holes, and then I machined in a little slot on this side where I've simply put a girth hitch with the cable around it. So this cable is securely fastened to the suitcase, and as I demonstrated before, it also, when this case is locked, securely attaches to the case. This means that if someone were to be able to get into my bag, and let's be serious, this is not Fort Knox here. All it would take is a crowbar to be able to pry this bag open and someone would be inside it. They still would have chunks of suitcase attached to it that they would have to deal with. We can't necessarily make a suitcase that's going to be perfectly impenetrable and completely secure, but what we can do is we can make a suitcase that makes it difficult in the amount of time that someone would have to be able to steal a firearm out of it. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to secure my suitcase so that in the amount of time that someone has to deal with it, they would just choose to steal somebody else's gun. There's a pretty typical routine that I have to go through when I do get to the airport to check in. First of all, in most airports, I have to check in at the ticket counter as opposed to the curb. Not a big deal. Roll everything inside, and then I need to declare to the ticket agent that I do have a firearm. You get a varied group of responses. Some people freak out. Other people are used to checking firearms. It's not a big deal. At that point in time, sometimes they ask you to demonstrate that the firearm is unloaded. I always double check. You know, I hate to get locked up while I'm going on vacation. They then give you a card like this that you need to sign and date saying the firearm is unloaded. I attach it right to the cable. Sometimes they have me put it inside the case. It depends on the ticket counter, depends on the airline. And then off to TSA we go to have the suitcase scanned. I don't go through security right away. If I'm not standing there while TSA is scanning the case, I hold on and wait for them to tell the ticket agent or a TSA agent to tell me that I'm clear. And that way I'm not going to be inside security and find out that I have a problem. Oftentimes I have to open up my suitcase to demonstrate that it's unloaded. Each airport handles things a little bit differently, which can be confusing at times, but I'll tell you what, to be able to take my standard carry weapons with me on vacation, you know, I give myself an extra 15 to 30 minutes at the airport ahead of time to check in. It's not that big of a deal. Don't be too intimidated by the process. Go ahead, give it a try. Make sure your guns are unloaded before you get to the airport. Give yourself some extra time, and you'll have some success traveling to the wherever your destination is by air with your firearms. Hey, get on out there, get some training. When you do, make sure you keep it simple. Make sure you stay safe. And as always, have a great day.